Welcome to Big G, Little G. We've got a special guest in the studio today. It's Aidan Angus from Creators Academy. It's just the two of us. Little G's nowhere to be seen. He is pretty little, but we've checked and he's not in this room, is he?
I don't think so. I can't see him.
But no.
Check behind the sofa. No, he's not here.
But no, pleasure, mate. We met down Roker just as a bit of interludes, having a bit of banter, didn't we?
That's right. Yeah,
and then from various connections, we came down to Creators. I came down to Creators Academy.
Yes.
Hope Street Exchange.
Hope Street Exchange. That's right. University building.
And just wanted to get you on. Love the way your mind works. We've had a bit of a chat about films and different things, but yeah, it's really just to shine a light on Creators Academy and what that's about. You've recently joined these guys.
Yeah, January. I've known Barry and Lee I've known Barry 25 years. He was in a band I used to follow a long time ago. So we've been friends, I'd say, approaching 25 years. And I was in an industry before that paid very well, but I'm going to be respectful over previous employers, but they don't kind of lean into looking after men's mental health or anyone's mental health predominantly. I'm not saying they didn't do that. I'm just saying that
just weren't reactive.
A bit, and they were very good at that. When you did raise problems, they were very reactive. But it's a high pressure sales environment. I don't think that's a fallacy to say it's part of the industry, in high pressure sales, not just the industry I was in. But I just wanted to make a change, and I thought that was the point. I'm 45 now. No, I know a lot younger people say, but I just thought at this point I need to make a change. And so Barry and Lee had offered us a couple of chances to go over, and Christmas it was the right time. Yeah.
So you're a bit of a salesman, bit of a creative, bit of good mixture there for you.
Yeah, I definitely, because that's the whole part of what I'm doing at Creators Academy is pushing the commercial courses we do. We do have a creative agency called Foresight, which is actually at Hope as well. I think you've been to the studio. Yeah, you have been to the studio.
Yeah, it was cool.
And from that, that's been around for 8 years now. So
is it?
Yeah. So Creators Academy was kind of forged from that because they realised there is a gap for continuous personal development within the creative sector. It's not something that a lot of people put time into. You can get learning management systems for a lot of different, sectors. I think, I've done pretty much every job I've done, whether it be insurance, energy. They've got quite an extensive learning management system, but the platform we've designed will sit in there for creative people, but it's, for creatives by creatives as well. So I think that's the main kind of selling point. I know it sounds a bit cheesy, but it is the main selling point of what we do because we're all creators ourselves. So it's been forged from, problems or traits that we needed to fix within Foresight as well. So it's an amazing bit of kit.
So who's it for, mate?
Well, it's for anybody really that creates within teams. We do obviously single commercial courses. So if you're just a photographer wanting to do Photoshop or a videographer potentially wanting to do After Effects or Premiere Pro, we do commercial courses, distance or at Hope Street Exchange. Which we've got kind of market leading tutors, brilliant Paul and Dan. I shouldn't mention Dan because he's a black and white, but I'm just joking. He's a great tutor. And lovely guy as well. They're both fantastic people, but wonderful creators as well. So it's kind of aimed. That's more obviously one-off courses, but the platform's aimed at probably larger teams. I had a really good conversation with a big creative agency in London yesterday, and you've got individuals there who are fantastic at what they do. Probably what you would call a silo worker, but it's hard to create culture when you've just got...
What's silo?
Silo's just like an individual person working by themselves. There could be a fantastic creative, but...
just on your jack.
Yeah, on your jack. Or even in an office, sometimes you can just be like a sole creator glued to a laptop doing,
right.
You know what I mean? So, but I think a lot of the agencies, especially in London, have a lot of silo home workers. So when you've got 7, 8, 10... creators all over the capital or Manchester or Birmingham or anywhere really, that it's hard to create a culture because you're just experiencing a lot of pressure to get immaculate work done under a certain time period, whereas the Creators Academy for Teams, where you call it, steps in that little gap there where it helps people, with masterclasses, on-demand courses, and Adobe certification as well.
Right. So to get like the certificate, the certification, is there a certain age for that, or is it anyone that just wants that exposure to the marketing and the creative side of things?
No, I mean, if you look at any Adobe advertising lately, they're kind of aiming for, I think, that creator and kind of influencer demographic. I know you're a big LinkedIn fan like me, and you see a lot of adverts now at the minute with Adobe looking at trying to push probably the younger generation into whether it be After Effects, Photoshop, just the Adobe kind of creative cloud, to be fair, because you've got everything you need as a creator, haven't you? If you're an influencer, or I know quite a lot of the lads from Sunderland, and we speak to them quite a bit about potential upskilling, that they're putting out video using CapCut or Canva. But I think taking that to the next level, having that certification, see you've done this work and had this level of certification, you can take that into any roles as well. It's good for your CV. If you're looking at big marketing teams, they like to see that you've got that certification behind you as well.
Yeah. So it's putting people in the right direction. So if you generally, like, I chat about this every now and then, but if you generally I class myself as a creative.
I know. I cried 10 times at your poem this weekend.
Or spoken word poem, yeah. Mate, you're welcome to it once these guys are finished with it. But I like the idea, we've chatted about this. I like the idea that it's unchanged and there isn't that call to action at the end.
Yeah.
But it's I love what you do. Like, I feel like it's really, I find it really mindful, me. Watching something grown, you're creating it, and it takes different directions, and then I love that process.
So, well, it's all about creators are self-taught, like all of us are self-taught for the best part. Giving someone certification probably gives them just more structure, like workflow. Even as a photographer of nearly 20 years, I went in to sit in to meet some of the students on the courses, and I learned something in the first hour that would have saved me, hours and hours of work when I was doing kind of wedding photography and that. So workflow is important. We've got, some of the platform stuff, there's a lot on like taking critique. When you come out of, if you've got like a graduate pool, like juniors coming into the real world after coming out of college or university.
Right.
When you've had tutors and teachers telling you, wonderful, great, but on the first day you go into a real world scenario and your work gets distributed and it gets pulled apart for that first time. There's no protection from that, so you need to, young people need to learn how to take critique. It's like your children, you tell them they're great at everything, and when they come into the real world, it's a little bit different than what you think, isn't it? You build this world for them, and I think with creators it's the same. So and that's why I think on masterclasses set us aside, because we've got kind of industry leading people doing fantastic masterclasses on their experiences, all from photography backgrounds, animation, and really kind of portraying how they got to the standard of level, whatever their discipline is, and giving some kind of hints and tips and feedback as well.
So if you were painting as a picture, what would a typical or a standard masterclass look like? Would you... a room full of people, someone at the front?
No. So we record the masterclasses at Horse Street. So there's some of them are half an hour, some of them a couple of hours. Really high end kind of recordings as well. They look fantastic. But it's all filmed. We're looking to do live masterclasses within the next probably 6 to 8 weeks.
Cool.
We've been buying some new kit that allows us to do live masterclass delivery, but also have that two-way interaction, so people that are on our platform can jump on these. Potentially that could be about around lunchtime, so lunch and learns, and they can jump on there and ask questions at the end of it, so if it's in their discipline. And that's part of being on the platform, is having that access to industry leading tutors, but also people that have done the job and to the best of their ability. There's one getting launched on copyright laws, which is really big as well, because it's we're taught about creation, and there's a lot to be said about people plagiarism and using images, and there's a really comprehensive section on the platform which goes around obviously copyright law as well, which is great. Well, it's massive within kind of creation. You know yourself, so you've got to be careful what you print.
Oh,
What you
well, best not say too much. But I think our little sign for this podcast is a bit dubious. But anyway. But so what do you love most about the new job?
Oh, if I'm honest with you, it's the life balance. And like I get to take my son to school every day, like before. And again, I'm not going to sit here and disparage other people about certain industries, but I think from high pressure sales, which I've done for a long time, that's why I'm bald.
What's my excuse? 20 years in sales, mate.
I think you've had any pressure, you. It's a wig.
Just making coffees, wasn't I? Just making coffees.
No, I see my son every day, like take him to school every day. Like I love it. And I like the variance because at Hope Street we've got the office, the 6th floor, and the studio on the bottom floor, and it's you're up and down every day. It's different coming to do stuff like this. If we've got
variety,
people variety is spice of life, isn't it? So we've got today we've got 2 guys in talking about master classes. I've got a couple of meetings to go back to when I'm at the office this afternoon. In the morning, it could be anything, and I like that. I like I like being kind of challenged in different ways. If we're doing a shoot, we're all in there setting lighting up and setting the studio up for what it's required. Obviously, I'm a big bloke like you, so I get all the heavy lifting. We've got a big Creators Academy Masterclass board, which you'll have seen, which features quite heavily in my LinkedIn. Trying to move that around.
The neon pink.
Yes.
Is that the backdrop? Yes. Yeah.
So I like that because I think it creates like a brand, so...
Bit of a buzz, I like it. Like,
it is.
When I came down, I was like a little kid in the sweet shop, I was like, I wonder if we're going to do something.
Well, we could. I mean, there's
I love all that, man.
I mean, Barry and Lee, they're great friends, but they're great businessmen as well. But the people that are on the courses, or even myself, they said, look, the studio's there. As long as it's not booked out, use it. Get people in. Like my son plays for a football team, and he said, get the lads in to do the annual team photograph. If you guys want to come in and do whether it be some photography to go along with the podcast, or I know you do a lot of your own music creation, so if you want to create your own kind of album covers, all that kind of stuff we can do. So it's just having the option, and people do love it when you take them in the studio. It's like the real kind of jewel in the crown of what we do.
Oh, it's a lovely little spot. So there's a green room there, and the podcast room there.
Yeah, and you've got obviously there's a couple of desks, I think 3 or 4 desks in there for editing, and the full editing suite. And they've got the team of Amelia and Sophia, Louise down there. They separated the girls and the boys upstairs, I think, and but they're just fantastic at what they do as well. I think you met a couple the other day, just fantastic creators in their own right, and fantastic editors, and the stuff they can churn out quickly, but at the high standards, remarkable.
I love all that, mate. It's like I remember during lockdown, and it's not a great comparison, but when my little girl would be drawing pictures and stuff like that, and I just love the whole stripping back. It's the exact comparison.
It's the exact, because creativity, whether you're a kid in your dad's living room or in a studio like this, it's creation in its essence is just somebody, getting, whether it be an instrument or a piece of paper or a pen. That's the wonderful part of creation, but a lot of people don't do it. That's the problem. They don't get a chance, or they don't have the time or the want to do it. And some of the people I've heard people pick up microphones for the first time and be absolutely wonderful singers, like kind of to the point you're jealous. We were at the Creative Careers event at the City Hall a few weeks ago,
right?
And we set up like a green screen and had the first scene was like a weather scene, then there was like a football, the advertisement background when after the game, match of the day type. Then there was a weather. There was a breaking news. And we took the kids through all, I think it was 6 disciplines in the end, and some of them were fantastic. I mean, they were all fantastic, but some of them really came out of the shell. I think, some of the teachers were rushing across the other side of the hall because these young men and women don't speak in the classroom yet. They've been able to jump up and provide this. That's great, and it just gives people that escapism. That's why I love film. probably is why you love music, because it gets you away
I do like film. We were talking about
we were
Dead Man's Shoe. So remind us. We'll get that chat in. But
it's escapism, isn't it? Like, people want to get away from.
Yeah, you're just relieved from your troubles, aren't you? Mm-hmm. And it breaks down. Like, that's why I was mentioning the mindfulness thing. You literally you break it down to a few thoughts, and you're just very much in the moment. I've heard of people call it different things, like a flow state, but when you do get in that little bubble where you're just like, wow, this is 100% my full attention in the here and now, and it's a class place to be. It's not always like that, but even when it's not too close to that, I really, really enjoy that process.
Well, that's why people like to go and see theatre or live music, because it's a chance for them to either get away from the day-to-day stuff, or they can kind of live vicariously through some other people's talent, like Barry. I say he's my boss, but he's my boss, but he's my mate. And when I went to see his band, like, it was community as well. It was, we were at that point we were talking about the other day, like in the late 90s, early 2000s, where you had massive bands like kind of Ray and Dr. Syntax, all these different bands in St. Vegas, the Golden Virgins, like around Sunderland, and had a massive musical community. Like, bank holidays on a Monday, you'd have bands starting at like midday, full pubs. And I think we regress a little bit, and think of those days. But now we realistically have got more capability and more, the Bunkers, massive, Music City, we work with Frankie and the guys. There's so much more, I think, availability, but I think that drinking cultures change a lot. A lot of people don't go out like we. Well, I can't speak for you, but certainly for me, when I was
like back in the day, you'd be out with 7. Now you walk out of town 7 o'clock.
100%. Yeah. And but the bands like then were great, and music's always been like an escape for people. Travis's granddad, my son's granddad, used to own the Smugglers, and now it's, I think, Granny Annie's. Other pubs are available in the Seaburn area. But I used to love Smugglers.
Get yourself a for exactly.
9 o'clock Saturday. But Smugglers, just this dingy little bar, like with, Paul Adele, one of my favourite musicians, a good friend of mine. We used to like being there like on a Friday night till nigh on midnight, having a lock in, like kind of, once the band was finished, we'd have, somebody would be sitting there with an acoustic and everyone would be singing Oasis, and it was great. You're on the beach. I brought some friends over from when I lived in Colorado, and there was a guy in there singing like old fashioned kind of, a lot of it was Irish folk music, the Fields of Athenry, and we were on the beach with the fire going, like kind of, and they were like, you're so lucky to have this like on the doorstep.
No, honestly, I fell in love with rock actually. Probably about I re-fell in love with it about a year ago, and I was just like, you take it for granted, didn't you? Don't get us wrong, like sometimes it's miserable and that, but I generally really enjoy the peace and quiet down there. Like,
there's a quote I heard a long time ago by T.S. Eliot, and this is not verbatim, but it says, "At the end of all your endeavours will be to return to where you first started and know it again for the first time." And I found that with Sunderland when I travelled so much, like kind of, you look at what we've got, like kind of, you can be in 15 minutes within a castle wall, and then, you can be in a forest or at the seafront pretty much within a 15-20 minute drive of Seaburn or Roker, and you think, or anywhere in Sunderland really, and you think, I lived in Colorado, which is one of the most beautiful places in the world, but you're 1,000 miles from the nearest sea, kind of, it probably no castles to be thought of, and you think, oh wow, we're so lucky to live where we live. And I just live at Seaburn, so it's, you'd like, I say to my son now, who's 9, he'll run from the minute he gets up to the minute he goes to bed, but he won't walk the 3 minutes from our house to the seafront. And I'm like, right. I'm starting to get there now. And we went the weekend and he loved it, so we're going to start doing it every week. But it's free, isn't it? It's like, it's there, like kind of just beautiful coastline. And I mean, any other city, look at any other city, like if we're going to a networking event tomorrow in Newcastle, you have to plan where you're going, where you're going to park, it's anywhere near the event, like kind of, do we get the metro? Sunderland, you don't, you can just pretty much park anywhere you want. It's just accessible to everybody, isn't it?
Yeah.
It hasn't lost its small city charm, people give it a bad rap, but for what we pay, it's like for some nice houses, and it's a lovely area.
Yeah, well, it's been on the up for a few years now. Like, we've been there where it was like nothing happened for a decade. And some people are still stuck in that mindset, and you know that's up to them. But there's a sense of momentum in the last couple of years where there's a buzz around the city. You know, Keel Square, Keel Crossing. This is getting developed. The music's there, like you
Football
said.
club.
Football club. Obviously, that got all changed on Sunday, like. But but no, like I think there's people. I think the vast majority of people are positive, and I genuinely think. I mean, I could be wrong. I think a lot of people are just stuck in the mindset of, oh, nothing's happening. Well, that might have been true a few years ago, but it's not true now.
I mentioned Paul Adele earlier, one of the best singer-songwriters we've had from this town in a long time, and he wrote a song called Untouched by Time and Progress, and I'll send you it. It's a beautiful song. You can get it on Spotify. But it's about that. And he wrote it a long time ago, and like it can be bleak. You know, this winter seemed like eternity, didn't it? But
oh yeah,
you know, we've got so much kind of potential. And I went to Paul at work, my colleague, goes off it because I went to see Sam Fender at St James's, and he was like, "I can't believe you've got in there." But I got a bit jealous because I looked at, you know, when he came out and Local Hero played, and you know, we don't have that kind of same level of. I'm not going to say talent because the talent's there, but success, you know, kind of.
Yeah.
If you think of, you know, compare Sting to say Dave Stewart or, you know,
no,
you know, we don't really have that kind of comparable superstar, and I think I've got to be jealous. But I mean, obviously, you know, Josh Kelly's just won a world title. If we can get the same light full at some point, whether it be this year or next year, that would be the closest thing we'd probably have.
Do you know? I'd love a music venue that could be like, you know, an academy of some sort where you might be talking 10 to 15,000, something like that.
I thought they talked about something at Dalton Park I saw a while ago. I'm not sure how far.
There's been a few whispers in that, but yeah, it would just be like it's what's missing in my as far.
Yeah, but I think simpler than that. I think we need to create. I think people need to come from Sunderland at future heads. You know, a big band, well-known band, but they didn't get superstars stardom like, you know, Sam Fender and the likes of. So I just think we need to encourage more creation within Sunderland. I know the Bunker does great things. Music City, obviously Marty with Shipyards was world renowned because of obviously the Netflix documentary. But I just think we need to create more. I think we need to have more success from here. You know, and I'm not discounting the ones we do have, because we have, you know, there are some big names from Sunderland, Jill Scott, you know, Steve Cram, but you know, we want some new stuff. You know, we want to sell out the stadium like with a band. You know, like kind of. And 2 nights, I think Sam Fender had 3 nights at Newcastle. Like, kind of, we want the same thing for us. And I think that's what, you know, we all want to plug together and move forward with as well. I think that's what Creators Academy brings. You know, we went to an event in Newcastle a few weeks ago, and they were the same. Like Marisan was they were kind of creative. It was called a Creative Club, and it was young musicians wanting to do well with it, but helping each other, like supporting each other, and everyone on the same page. And I think that's what Sunderland's starting to get right now. Everyone's supporting each other as opposed to working against each other.
Yeah, I mean, there's a class little buzz in the sense, you know, when we think about the arts and when we think about lockdown and all these working musicians, actors, all the rest of it, you know, they took a massive hit, didn't they? So I think the bounce back's been really good, but I hear what you're saying, like, it'd be nice to see more, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I just want to see the big superstars come out, you know, like kind of, you know, you hark back to the past, and future heads were massive. You know, as I said, Dave Stewart, and we had that culture. Hyde Beast, I'm not sure, Neil Bassett, great bloke, nice good friend of mine, and they had a couple of albums a couple of years ago that were big. Frankie and the Heartstrings, but we need to create some more. We need to get some big superstars out there.
You got any gigs on the list for this year? Like,
I'm going to see Luke Combs with my brother, big country western star in August last year. Right. It was huge. I went to see Sam Fender, Oasis, Stevie Wonder, who's my God, Steve, I've seen him 11 times.
I've never seen him, like, he's got some tunes.
He's never seen you. But he's me boy. Like, I've seen him, I think this is the 12th time I've seen him all over the world. Who else did I see last year? Some big bands. Oh, AC/DC twice.
Not seen them. Class though.
Brilliant. We went to Murrayfield. I think I was Oasis Oasis from AC/DC within like a 2-week period. But no, this year
it's
quite
not quiet. Fortnight, that,
no, it's all right, isn't it? But I think the only big one I've got in so far is Luke Holmes, Wembley, August 2nd, I think. But I love going to Big ST in Hyde Park. I'm not sure if you've been. They do like that's where I saw Stevie last year. But this year is a very kind of pop centric, I would say. Like not like
Right.
probably a younger generation. I'm gonna say Garth Brooks is on, which is a much older generation, but not really my style of country. But it's just because it's beautiful down there, like in the middle of Hyde Park. You know, if it's sun shining and like I
Yeah.
think Stevie Wonder was 35 degrees on that day, so it was
Dear
not only good for a baldy lad like me. 3rd degree burns by the end of it, but it was it's just a good place to go and watch music.
Yeah. No, you can't believe that. You can't beat the live music scene. So, like in terms of people who want to touch base with you guys, it could be anything of the creative arts. It could be the digital side that you might want to focus on.
Marketing's a big one. Marketing teams. Yeah, marketing teams, because with the upskilling that's available, instead of having to go and employ, 6 or 7 new staff, we can kind of upskill the ones you've got. Like that's the beauty of the platform. Like fill those gaps. We've been speaking to a couple of Premier League clubs that have got big aspirations for animation, and I think they've got seniors and juniors, but a big gap in the middle where they need to fill, and the platform's going to come in and fill that void for them. So marketing teams is the bread and butter as well, really, because you've got usually within any organisation at least probably 2 or 3 marketers. Some of the bigger companies 10, 15. And it just allows them to upskill without coming off tools. That's important. Time and budget are the 2 things that marketing teams tend to struggle with, and we can upskill as they go. So that's,
do you know what I'd love to do, mate? And again, this is a really selfish thing to say, especially when we're recording. But it'd be class to get the Space Northeast boys down there. Maybe it's the team, a couple of the volunteers, just to humanise what we do at Space. But coming from a point of view, people a bit like when we've chatted about looking at things, it humanises it, doesn't it? And you go, he looks a bit like me. I've been through that before.
Well,
that vibe.
Shout from the rooftops about Space, and I think the first time I came across you guys was actually when I was in my previous role, and you guys were outside in the van, and I like to be early. I'd prefer to be an hour early than a minute late. So I bumped into you and I forget the other guy's name.
James?
No, the big lad with the black hair.
Oh, Owen.
Lovely guy. And
the Dapper Don of the group.
Yeah, the Dapper Don. And then I said, introduce myself, because I like to try and be a gentleman from time to time. And it was just the ease of the conversation. And I think because, stereotypical, we're in the Northeast, you're just big burly blokes, it's not, we love filling my heart back to the Goodwill Hunting, the scene where he goes to all the different shrinks, and he's like struggling no good, and he has them all running in circles, and he bumps, or he gets told to go and speak to Robin Williams' character, and he's just a guy from Southie who he knows him on the same level. He's had the same upbringing, and I think that's what's good about Space Northeast. It's just big geezers, love football, love music. You're not patronised or chastised. You just literally. It's just cracking it, a cup of coffee, first thing in the morning or on your break, and it's open discussion. But I think, are you right? I think we should, definitely humanise what you do. There's not many people bigger than me, and I think you are, and it's that character and that is what people want to see. That kind of who they're speaking to.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I feel like there's what I do like about Space is the community. It's that for people as well. So if you have went down the wrong path or things are not great for you, we're there to support you, help you build yourself back up. And then for some people, they're on the way. For other people, they're making friendships outside of it, inside of it. But there's a huge drive on the community because there's an idea. Again, I don't want to make too much about my experience in Space, but what I love about it is it's kind of filling that gap, because we've had that lockdown, people have drifted, people have separated, people are on different personal paths and life paths, and it's great because it did create a lot of isolation and loneliness, and then it turned people to this drug or that drug, and then before you know it, your life was on a completely different spiral. And I love the fact that it's replaced that, like the Workman's Club. You'd go there, you'd have a pint, and there's nothing wrong with those places. Don't get us wrong, but it's like a modern workman's club where everyone can touch base. No one's going to get judged. Nothing's off the table. If if you want to dip into it for a bit of a laugh, it's there as well, you know?
Yeah, and that I think community is the clever word there, isn't it? Because it's like Creators Academy, we call it a community because you have a community of creators, a community of counsellors or people in one space where they can all thrive. And I think that's what community does, you know. That probably is a lost word in, you know, we talk about in Sunderland, and, you know, I'm old enough to remember. That's not really all there, but like, you know.
No, you just feel like you'd be at the neighbour's house having tea, unlock your door.
I mean, my dad, usually the door's open.
Back before the lights, lamppost comes on.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. That was it, isn't it? That was, you know, we've lost it. We've got
we are a bit more guarded, and there is a lot more contemporary issues, and, you know.
Yeah, but I mean,
we've probably make an argument that it's less safe, but the community still exists. You just got to kind of look out your window a little bit more.
Yeah, but there's more danger online, isn't there, now than anywhere else?
Exactly, mate. Yeah,
we've got more modes of communication than we've ever had, and we communicate less. I read once it said when the phone was tethered, the world was free. You know, like when the phone.
Now it's wireless.
It's crazy, isn't it? Like, it is like, you know, when you had that little cable on the phone. Now
it's really ironic, and it's quite a paradox. That, like, isn't it?
It is, and I just think it's true because, you know, we I'm quite big on communication. I reach out to a lot of people. I kind of check in, you know, with people a lot. Like people, I know a lot of people I know very well, but some people I don't even know that I can see them maybe on social media. Well, I don't use a lot, but LinkedIn especially, that are going through some turbulent times, and people I speak to in the pub that, you know, this has happened to us. I just spoke to a friend of mine recently who's relocated quite quickly from, you know, probably a really great experience. She's had to come back to Sunderland for one reason or another, and she's struggling because she's gone from living this high life, and then for whatever reason she's come back to Sunderland, and it's a shock. No, this is
well, you got lots to navigate, new identity, new circles, and everything.
That's exactly it. And the people that, you know, you knocked around with when you're younger, got kids, they've moved on. You know, you sort of, it can be lonely, can't it? But no, community exactly, and space does that 100%. I see a lot of it now. Like, obviously, I'm an ambassador at the Game of Two Halves in Sunderland, at the foundation.
You were there a little while, weren't you?
I'm still there.
You're still there?
Yeah, still there.
Right, okay.
So it's more of like we're more ambassadors. Like, if you're qualified in what you do, we're more ambassadors, like raising awareness. You know, so it's there's no kind of pressure. It's dipping in and dipping out when you can go. They do all sorts of courses on addiction and gambling, drugs, drink, suicide prevention, and I see a lot on social media, like kind of quite prominent local, you know, influencers doing, you know, walk and talks, which I think is fantastic because no matter what, you know, exposure you've got to people, if you use that for good, then I'm all for it. You know, I've seen a lot of those. There was one, we lost a family member, Leon, last year, and a couple of the lads, Sunderland fans, they know who they are, daft lads, loving the away day, like the drink, like a session, and they stopped an influencer at Sunderland, and they made this really impassioned speech about like men reaching out to each other, and it was like, wow, it was so impactful because it wasn't, you know, your stereotypical person that you would expect it from. It was just two lads that, you know, passionate about losing the mate, and they were like, look, if you speak out to anybody, you know, that's the first step, isn't it? Like, reach out. And I thought that was really moving, and I thought it was great, and it's got shared a lot within Sunderland, and hopefully it went a little bit more viral, because I think we talked about the video that Brighton put out this year, which end of last year, sorry, which was so moving. That got me proper in the feels, that one, like kind of that, you know, two blokes going to the match, constant talking, bustle, hustle on the train, you know, drinking, cheering, match noise, you know, and then that old Harold Pinter silence when he asked, "Are you all right, mate?" And it just went deathly silent, and he's, I don't know, like kind of, I just
silence volumes.
That's it, and that's it.
Yeah.
And
powerful, that, like.
It is, and you know, I come from a theatre background, and I studied Harold Pinter's dramatic pauses, and that was just, like, as soon as I saw it, I said to my dad, I said, that's, you know, Pinter-esque, just you can hear a pin drop, and it was just for them few seconds, and because he asked the right question, like, are you all right? It's something simple as that. It doesn't have to be. I'm not sure what you feel, but I feel as a people in the Northeast, we tend to say, yeah, I'm all right, it's the second time you ask, are you all right?
Yeah, it's always got to be the follow up.
Yeah, and I think that's massive for us. I think in the Northeast, because we're so accommodating and, are you all right, mate? Yeah, I do it myself.
Like a scripted answer, isn't it?
Yeah,
and that's generally the answer you'll give to someone if you're in the pizza queue at Asda, for example.
Yeah.
You know,
which I am quite a lot.
Oh, I do love an Asda pizza, like, but no, but
What's
it's
your go-to toppings?
Well, I'm a vegetarian now, so I've just been getting the vegetarian ones.
I'm just joking. I do like a veggie pizza.
I'm hated for my food choices these days, like, but no, it's like you're always in the hustle bustle. You're busy. You're somewhere where it's not appropriate to speak. But even when you have got that space, you do need that follow up question, because everyone's just on that autopilot of going, yeah, I'm all right, and it's like, yeah, well, straight away. But we all wear personas, sus men, don't we? At times, and sometimes you've got to, depending on where you're at. But what I do like about our chats is like we don't have to wear that mask, do we?
No, and I think that's one thing that we have to push on more and more people, is to not be. It's okay not to be okay. I know it's an old slogan, but you can speak out. I think people need to know the major signposts things as well. I think people don't get involved with certain conversations because they don't know where to go from there. But there are.
Well, it's like the grief conversation, isn't it? You end up saying nothing because you don't know what to say.
Yeah.
And that's actually worse than.
Of course it is.
It was you saying the wrong thing,
Mm-hmm. And I think now it is more prevalent. I think more and more organisations are pushing it. Hopefully, more and more businesses are going to bring that into the implementation when they bring people on board, and has to be like kind of mental health. The previous work did start bringing it in, like how's your mental health, that kind of stuff, whether it was tick box or not. It needs to be asked to people, and I think this job I'm in now, every day I'm asked, even of Christmas before I work there, they checked in 4 or 5 times. How are you? Do you need anything? Is everything okay at home? Like, you need to talk. And I thought that speaks volumes of building a community, is just making sure people are generally looked after and kind of respected. And that's what we need to do more, I think, not just in the Northeast, and I think as English.
In general,
stiff upper lip, isn't it? Like, we're fine.
We've got more than ever. We've got things that are making us zone out. So we do need to touch base with it. We have to make more of an effort to touch base, because you can easily get into that pitfall of I just isolate, or I just watch this and I just do that, and then before you know it, you might have went days without actually seeing how you feel about something, and then that's built up, and then the next thing comes along, and then these things stack up. But slight segue, but getting back to the creative stuff, that's what I love about the opportunities that you offer people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. I mean,
So if you're a kid out there listening to this, and you think, well, I'm pretty good with your Canva, or I'm pretty good with this, and I've got these ideas. Bit of an open door policy. They could come down. They could meet you.
Yeah, well, obviously get in touch first. Give us a ring, or go on our socials and
just get yourself down, kids.
Don't just turn up. The university would kill us. But no, that's it. It's like young adults, professionals, reach out by LinkedIn or our website. Any conversations start. Like kind of people might come up with an idea, they don't know how to progress it. Whether you're an artist, a writer, a photographer. We get a lot of people in there that just want to do something creative, don't have a clue, so we can point them in the right direction. Our strengths are in, the photography, videography. As I said, we've done some work with Music City, which I think we're looking to potentially explore again, which was a cuts and chords program, teaching young adults to create their own music videos and stuff, which is great, which I think, we could potentially launch again. We did some funding stuff through NECA, which is, again, we're still waiting for confirmation. So there's other courses that are available there that people that don't potentially have the money to pay for it. And that's on the horizon as well. So there's loads of options for creatives, especially within that space of that's Sunderland. I mean, it's North East Combined Authority, so you've got Newcastle, Sunderland, South Shields. It's perfect.
Yeah, and it's totally dispelling the myth that now it's happening in Sunderland, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
There's plenty there.
There's so much. Going. I mean, look at all these little venues popping up now. Pop Records. I say popping up. It's been there for a long time, but the fire station.
Class.
Not everyone can afford the Empire potentially, but we're looking at potentially. We've had discussions with people at the Empire, great good friends of mine who talk about, making them more affordable. I think the fire station is, every year the university do a performance at the end of the year, and it's always, 10, 15 quid a ticket, and it's brilliant. We went to see Sister Act a couple of years ago, it was unreal.
What's your thoughts on Villette Road Blues?
Oh, amazing. Brilliant, mate. You've got real talent. It's funny because Barry, again, Barry's such a creative bloke. He's just such a busy businessman. He puts it to one side, his talents, and he's got a fantastic voice, like high falsetto. Brilliant.
He's got some pipes on him.
Unbelievable.
Does he still sing as well?
Not as much as he used to, but it's time. He's got 2 sons, one of them all over there, look. And he's got 2 businesses to run, but he wants to. He's always talking about getting,
Well, tell him to sing Villette Road Blues.
I will. I'll give Villette Road Blues, and he's got a great voice. Fantastic.
Some great people down there, back on the map, but I'm just conscious of the time, mate. We'll have to do this again.
No, 100%. I'm there whenever you want.
But absolute pleasure.
You too. Thanks for having us.
I say we'll put some links on the socials and check these guys out. I've been down the green room. The lasses there, I was hugely welcomed. They had a gym, podcast room, absolutely spot on. So if you're out there and you think I'm quite good at this and I don't know what opportunities there is, make a connection on the socials with Aidan and the team, and they'll sort you out.
Brilliant. Thanks for having us.
Take care, mate.
See you, big man. Thank you.